welcome to the bucket, and welcome to something a little different. Friend Brittany and I have both recently completed Expedition 33, or Clair Obscur Expedition 33 to be completely accurate. And we want to give out about it, because if you've played this game, you also know that it gives you all of the emotions, all at once at times. So, yeah, we're gonna yap about it. It's a little different, for the channel, but I think it'll be fun. And also, obviously, this is a discussion for people who have either A, completed the game, or B, don't have any interest in playing the game, but are curious about spoilers for some reason. Which does happen.
Exist, probably.
Yeah. Or, if you want to fall asleep to something, which I totally get. So yeah, but before we get to the ending of the game, which I think is the thing that like really spurred us to like talk about it, because it is so nuclear, I'll put it. We can't get to the fireworks factory immediately. But first off, I want to talk a little bit about general impressions and thoughts, how'd you build your characters, your like gameplay and characterization and stuff, like sort of a general. Give me like your 40-second review of the game.
Okay, I've been like a RPG girl for like my whole gaming life. Like, yeah. I got into gaming, I mean, like Mario, obviously, but then like once I hit like 10, it was all Final Fantasy. And
once you could read, yeah.
Yeah. And so this game was like a breath of fresh air for me. It was like I've been waiting for a game like this to come out for years, and there probably are games like it that I just haven't seen because they haven't gotten big enough. And I'd love to hear some recommendations from you on like games.
Yeah, there's a lot. Like people say that this is reviving turn-based RPGs, and they've kind of always been there. Ever since like I guess Final Fantasy X was the last like really big one, right? But
that was my first Final Fantasy game.
Oh, okay.
Very near and dear to my heart.
Wow.
And then I went back and played all the old ones.
yeah. I think mine was 4 or 6.
I wish I would have gotten in earlier. I just didn't know. I didn't know they existed.
I think I played those so early because nobody else in my tiny Texas town would rent them from the video store because they're so wordy. I was like, what do you mean you have to read? Yeah. No, but yeah, it has sort of repopularized the genre in a way that I think a lot of people didn't expect. Because I don't know, did you see many of the trailers and stuff before it came out?
No, I didn't know anything. Okay,
oh, good.
I was on a trip with a bunch of people, and I got back, and and so I was gone like that weekend that it came out.
Oh.
And then I got back, and within like 24 hours, every different gaming friend group I have, all independently, were like, "Hey, have you heard of this game? This game."
Oh, good.
I knew nothing about it before then, but I was like, "Oh my gosh, I have to get my hands on it!" Like everybody's talking about it.
Yeah. And the word of mouth has been so strong and I think it's because the setup is so strong. Like that first 90 minutes is crazy, right? Yeah.
It engages you immediately.
Yeah, you have a little bit of combat, you get a little sense of the traversal of like using the ropes and like jumping and stuff, and you get the like grapple hook where you zip around. And then it introduces you to like your like Gustav's ex-girlfriend, right? But they're still kind of have a thing for each other.
I love the complexity of their relationship. Like, it would have been so much, I mean, like, it just would have been so much easier to just be like, well, it's his girlfriend. Of course he's sad. But, like, they have a whole, like, complex underlying relationship with each other. And you, like, the writing really, I mean, I've already talked with you about this a lot. Like, how the writing is just elevates it.
It really does.
So much higher. And, like, you get these little hints of, like, the way they feel about each other without them having to directly tell you how they feel about each other.
Exactly.
Brilliant, and I love it.
Yeah, and what I think is it's really good from a character standpoint, but also from a world building standpoint, because these characters have a history, and therefore the world has a history as well. So
Yes.
it's sort of grounding it it's grounding the situation that you're in that you really don't know much about, but gives you a sense of longevity there. It's really good. And then they take it all away from you.
Dude.
And the most like gut-wrenching cutscene that it's
okay. So I just watched it for a second time because my husband, I've been telling him since I started playing it, like, you have to play this game, but
absolutely,
like, I'm playing it first. And so now that I've finished, he's started it and I've been watching him play. So I had to watch that whole scene. And just watching it again, like knowing the story, it's even like more rewarding seeing it all again. Like, it's not boring because it's the way that it's acted, I don't know, their facial expressions and the dialogue through the whole thing.
Yeah, it feels very natural and intuitive.
Yes.
And I remember when she started to disintegrate, I just went, no! Because I didn't understand what was gonna happen, like...
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. She was sending death flags for me, like, as soon as I saw her. Especially when she's, like, literally in white and red, and all the flowers are in white and red.
Yeah. For some reason,
like a sacrificial lamb.
Well, like, mechanically, I didn't know how it was gonna happen. I was...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, is she just gonna, like, blink out of existence or what? But, like, it's not slow, but it's not quick either.
Yeah. And I don't know, there's something extra insulting. I kept thinking this watching it the second time. There's something extra insulting about not having a body. Like, the person just floats away and you have nothing left of them. They're just like, they're erased.
yeah. And that's on like the huge theme of grief in this.
Yeah.
Because you give it, even when somebody that you're really close to dies, you have the body and the funeral to be able to have closure or some measure of closure, hopefully. It still feels like it's still an incredible absence.
Yes.
And then doing that with the flowers and stuff is like so poetic and visually striking. And yeah, it's such a hook. It's such a hook. And then
tear your heart, and they do such a good job of making you care about this character for like 5 minutes before they're gone, which is hard.
And then they do that to you for 40 hours with 8 people or whatever.
Okay, so like, did you see because like the one that got me that I was not expecting at all was the Gustav one.
Yeah, I was just about to get to Gustav because that's like the next big gut punch in the game. And there's that, the second they start throwing rocks off of that cliff, it's like, oh, what's gonna happen? I've seen too much like premium television to know that one of these characters is gonna die.
Yes. But I don't know. I thought it might be Mael though. Like,
it doesn't.
You know,
because you don't learn a lot about Mael's backstory really for a whole other act.
Yeah.
So at that point in the game, it could be either of them. And I was like, no, don't kill Shadowheart. You better not kill Shadowheart. I'd be so mad.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah. But
especially for you, Shadowheart is close to your heart as a child.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't spend 160 hours in Baldur's Gate 3 not to
romance the goth girl.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And she's the first character you meet in that game, like really meet in that game. And so it's like,
it's true.
Oh, okay, they got me.
Done. Karlak who?
Right. But okay, so Gustav dies, right? And it's awful, and it's because he has like this arc where he like doubts himself and the entire thing, and then he's coming out of it. He's coming out of this dark place, and then he immediately gets killed. And the game, it's so awful. But I want to know, how did you feel about Verso when you first met him? Being kind of like, from like a gameplay metatextual type of thing. It's like, oh, here's the replacement character.
Yeah. No, I was angry at Verso for several levels.
Yeah, and then later you're angry at him again.
Yeah. Every time he talked to Mael, I was just like, all I could think was, you're not my real dad.
Yeah.
No way. Why are you looking at her like you know her? You don't know her.
Well.
But that's the thing. It was all justified. He wasn't just a replacement, but we just didn't know it yet.
Yeah. But in that moment, I was like, I felt a little cheated because I was like, no, I didn't unlock all of Gustav's skills.
Oh yeah.
But it's like, oh no, you literally can't. They don't exist. They're just there to make you think he makes it through the game. And that's so mean.
They're lies. Lies the game tells you.
And it's so interesting that they can do that through like a game system.
That is such a good point. I hadn't thought about that, but yes.
Yeah, because it's not like part of the character really. It's just mechanical for there to be a game. But they're taking that knowledge that they know the fans of this genre have because they're fans of this genre. And they're using that to manipulate you.
Yes. Manipulate your soft heart.
Yeah. And then Verso comes in and it's just like, who is this guy?
Yeah, right?
And like his design is like so similar but so much more like it reminds me of like when the Green Ranger showed up in Power Rangers. and you're like and it's like, who is this guy with the long hair, and he's got like the cool like highlight. Which we find out later he dyes his hair.
Yeah, which is such a great detail, by the way. He takes time to dye his hair. And he purposely leaves those like two wisp. Yeah, like that's a purposeful choice. Which makes sense because he's an artist.
Yeah. In a way. Yeah,
I was really glad that they looked similar though, because like my husband was walking in and out as I played, and I was trying to keep him from spoilers, and I don't think he ever realized that the dude in like the like party screen is a different dude now. He hasn't noticed.
That's for the best, and honestly, good on you for like not revealing that.
I talked a lot purposely about how you can change their hair and clothes, like just in case he's thinking about it.
That's so smart. That's so smart. And then, oh my god! And then you find Gustav's hairstyle for Verso, and that's that felt so wrong.
It is wrong. That's because it is.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. So this
is the evil branch of the game.
Absolutely, yeah. So they know, and it's like, and it's through all those little touches like that where you sort of over the course of the game realize that like, oh no, we've been in good hands about this sort of RPG type of thing for a long time. One of the soundtracks or one of the tracks for one of the beaches is called "My Grandma Could Beat You Up."
That's amazing.
But there's did you play the mini game where you're on like a raft and there's like a sucker patat on another raft and he's shooting stuff at you and you have to deflect it?
I missed this one.
That one's like ridiculously difficult, and a lot of people online have complained about how hard it is. But the guy who designed that minigame said he wanted to make it as difficult and unfair as possible because the mini games to unlock all the like ultimate weapons in Final Fantasy X were like that, like the chocobo racing and the lightning dodging and stuff. And he's like, no, that's an homage to those games. Having impossible mini games.
It's an FU homage.
Yeah.
He's been carrying that resentment around with him for years. He just needed to let it out somewhere.
Yeah, you have to inflict that pain on somebody else to like get it out of your own system, right? Yeah. That's very
I have not done, and I want to go back. I went ahead and finished the story on your advice instead of like exploring every micro thing, because you said I shouldn't get too high level.
Yeah, I was level 60 something, and I blew through every single final encounter.
That's where I was. Yeah, and yeah, it was a little easy at the end, but I do want to go back and like play with those gestural challenges a little bit. I need to make it to the top of the climbing challenge. Like, I've only made it like halfway, and I gotta get there.
I won't spoil the reward you get for the really big climbing challenge, because it's amazing and perfect. It's
I can't wait. What's up there? What's up there?
It's very good. It's very good. You're gonna love it. Let's see. What Axon did you fight first? Did you fight the Visage, or did you go for the Serene?
Visage.
You went Visage. Okay, I went Serene first.
Yeah.
Because I saw the like big island she was on, and I was like, oh, that looks interesting.
It is very prominent.
It's very prominent. Yeah.
I've been trained by years of RPG playing to always go to the least prominent place first.
Oh, okay,
like,
yeah.
Always take the smallest trail, always take all the side things before you get to the main thing, because it might lock you out of everything.
Yeah. This game is thankfully pretty good about that. You're able to go back to almost everywhere.
Yeah, which is
nice.
It made me feel better once I figured that out.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, and then so the end of Act 2, which felt like an ending almost, except for you don't have flying yet, you don't, because there's islands in the sky, and you haven't unlocked a bunch of stuff on the character sheets and stuff. That big set of revelation, it's like a lengthy set of cutscenes too. But where you find out like the world is a painting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, did that? It remind that you're like in a pocket dimension, and I started getting like shades of like Final Fantasy 14 story starting there, because you have these gods who are trying to like deal with this world that they've sort of inadvertently created. But they're actual people. They're people.
Yeah.
Kind of. Well, it depends on who you
Are
ask,
they?
right? Which feeds into like how you feel about the different endings, right?
I think I was thinking about it, and I think gamers are like predisposed to automatically think of them as real people, because tend to be people, at least fans of like fantasy and sci-fi and fiction stories, like tend to there's fictional characters that don't exist that have had more of an impact on my life than real people have.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, 100%.
So like we're just predisposed to like, well, of course they're real. Like, I care about them.
Yeah.
And they say they're real, so they're real.
They feel real.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they have a full life and all that.
Okay. This is something I noticed rewatching it as my husband was playing. He, like, whenever whenever they find Mael, they've all gotten separated, and they go into the manor house for the first time, and they see her, and she's like working at a desk, and she turns around, and her first words are, "Gustav, are you real?"
Oh yeah.
She means like, "Are you really here?" But
right.
I was just oh my gosh.
That could be that's like the larger question of the whole game.
Yes. Yes.
I totally forgot about that. That's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have noticed it if I hadn't watched it a second time, but oh my gosh.
It's definitely one of those stories where like replaying it is gonna be, or like re-experiencing the story is gonna be really interesting, just to see what they lampshade and what they keep from the player and what's just out there for you to not pick up on the first time.
Yes. And there's so many things like around the world that like look painting like that I didn't really appreciate as being painting like until like I just thought of them as stylistic gaming choices.
Sure.
Like game design choices. Until you figure out the twist. And then it's like, oh, like, I mean, it's just done really well.
Yeah, like the shortcut bridges are brush strokes through the world.
Right?
Yeah,
it's so good.
Yeah, and it's that sort of like fantasy geography that you sort of take for granted.
Yes.
In that it's clearly designed but also made to look like it might not have been designed. Like, you look at the world map of any Final Fantasy or Dragon Quest or whatever, and there are portions of it, or even like Lord of the Rings is a good one, because it's like, oh, this looks like Europe, except for this giant square mountain range.
Yeah.
Which has a lore justification, of course, but yeah, it's just one of those things that's like, it just leans into A, your expectations, and B, plausible deniability about what this world actually is.
Yeah.
And I kept thinking there was some sort of horrible apocalypse, which I guess there was, but in a way, but like in the real world, like this is some fucked up version of Earth.
I thought it was, my guess before like the reveal was that it was kind of an artificial world, but that like that she had somehow like thrown a real city into it.
Yeah,
like real people, a real city had been like crashed into this thing, whatever this thing is.
And that's because that's a thing that happens as well. Yeah, this is way more interesting. I thought it was just Earth, and that the painters had come along, like, I don't know, presumably from space, because that happens in half of these RPGs, and just reformed the land in her to her whims, right?
Yeah.
And then was just being mean about killing everybody, because that's what you expect.
I do love the idea of like apocalyptic god alien artist.
Yeah.
That is pretty awesome.
Right? Yeah. That's a kind of Chrono Trigger, Lavos, but with a paintbrush.
And,
oh man.
The twist of like the paintress was doing that as a warning. It was never like the number on the monolith was never a doom number.
Right, yeah.
Like, it was a warning. She was trying to warn them, and they just took it as a threat.
Yeah, and it's and the whole thing about the big paintress painting the number, not actually being the paintress, and all that. Yeah, that's of course that's exactly the kind of twist they would throw at you in this kind of game, but also at the same time it goes so much deeper because of this like meta level of reality, or I guess it's actual reality, and then you have the painting, and there's a lot of like doubles in the game, like
it's so confusing trying to talk about everybody.
yeah, because there's I hate to use the phrase real, right?
Yeah.
But like prime, right?
Okay, prime is good.
Yeah, you have like the prime paintress, and then there's the actual painter, and then there's the one in the painting that's like a copy, and then same with Verso and Renoir and all that. Yeah, it does get a little confusing, but that's that sort of.
My heart broke when like Eske, there's like a cutscene where Eske and Verso are talking, and Verso is asking him like, do you miss the real Verso?
Oh God,
yeah. I was tearing up. Like,
yeah, and that loops back around into the whole grief thing, because there's the actual person, and then there's the version of the person that you carry with you. And these are all the versions that either forget her. What was the paintress's? What was her actual name? Let me look at the soundtrack, because I think
she's just mother. She's Maman.
Maman, yeah. It's like Alcine. Is it Alcine? I think her name's Alcine. But
I'll take your word for it. She's Maman in my heart.
Yeah. I was thinking there was the mom, and these are all these versions of the people in her life that she's either lost or is losing. So like, because like Renoir is still alive, but you can definitely still mourn somebody who's still alive, or a version of them that you remember. So like there's like layers and layers to all of this, like a painting.
Oh my gosh, it's art, Austin.
It's like it's art or something. It's like they're using the fantasy to like explore emotions and like the human condition.
Oh my gosh.
Real quick before we get further in, did you romance anybody, CL or Lune?
I went CL because I felt like Verso and CL were a better match. I feel like I could see them like getting along, having a real relationship.
I also went with CL because I did not realize you could romance Lune until later.
Oh, really?
Because I think you have to turn down CL at some point, and then you can romance Lune. So
okay, so you have to take your chances. And who's gonna do that when you have CL right in front of you?
CL's great, yeah, and like her whole backstory is really interesting too.
Oh, so good. And like when you first meet her, I'm just like, okay, like she's like the
cool girl,
muscly woman, cool girl, yeah. But she's so much more than that, and the way they eke out that info.
Yeah, and you get it kind of piecemeal, and then there's that like big like because when she meets Eskie, Eskie's like, oh, it's my bad swimmer friend, and you're like, wait, what?
Like, what? Oh my gosh, and that ate at me. I sat up at night, like trying to figure out what he meant by that.
Right, yeah.
Like, this is the key. This is the key to the whole thing if I can just figure this out.
And then later on, you find out that he saved her from killing herself.
Yeah, I was nowhere near close. I wouldn't.
Yeah, me neither. I was thinking something way more fantastical. I was like, oh, maybe.
Yeah, right.
Maybe she's a clone of a clone or something. I don't know.
And then whenever it's showing them their loved ones, and like she has her husband or boyfriend, I can't remember.
Yeah, fiance or something.
There.
Yeah.
And I love how much, because like the whole story hinges on like the whole plot hinges on like this family's grief for this guy Verso.
Yeah.
But you learn, and you don't really get to meet the real Verso, except you do because you spend the whole game in his painting world.
Yeah.
And like you get to know so much about him just from like Eske and Minoko and like how he made this world.
It's like exactly the kind of thing that like somebody would come up with as a kid and then just sort of keep up with.
Yeah, right.
It's
it's like he made it when he was like 8, and then he just kind of kept adding to it.
Yeah. Over and over time, and it's like if you could have a portal that you could step into, and then have all your imaginary friends in there with you to like hang out and play and stuff, like
your own personal Narnia that you made yourself.
Yeah, it's
and
big Narnia vibes.
Slowed down too there, so like you get to spend extra time there.
Yeah, and you're making them real because they have like agency and personalities and a whole inner life as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you? We're both escapism people.
Absolutely.
Would you make the wrong choice and spend your life waste away?
Well, wrong is like in giant quotation marks, right?
We'll get there. We'll get there when we get to the end.
That's Fireworks Factory is getting closer, but we're not quite there yet. I have one or two other things I wanted to talk about before we get to the ending. One, I want to talk about favorite boss fights, because there's a lot. Okay. Like Goblu, because Goblu's theme is amazing. The kind of monkey looking dude you fight in the upside down water place, which what zone. What zone.
It's so good. And I'm a person that's scared of deep water. And like I loved this place.
Yeah.
It was kind of creepy, but it added to it.
Yeah, but in the fun way. I love the whales swimming around, like
so cool.
That's very cool. It reminded me of Death Stranding. Because
it is very much like that. Yeah.
Dueliste was like I think maybe my favorite boss fight. Yeah, you fight him down in a pit. And then the ultimate Sakapate, the one with the shield and the club.
Yes.
That guy was great.
Well, the other ones are invincible, but this one is the most invincible.
The most invincible. That one's really great. Also had an amazing theme, and like the fact that you could like shoot his shoulder out to make him drop the shield. Like, how cool is that?
Yeah, and it took me forever to figure that out. I had to play most of the boss fights. I had to play a few times to like get the dodge patterns. And then also like to figure out whatever trick there was.
Yeah. I think I
didn't mind that. Like I never got frustrated with playing.
No, yeah.
It was fun.
And then the other the one I spent the most time on in the main story, I think, is the Renoir at the monolith, where at the very end. I think that was the hardest story boss for me, because I think I hit it at the right level.
Nice.
But that's an amazing song with the guitars and the singing, and then the tiger comes out. Okay, before we get to the ending, because we learned this like shortly before the end of the game, that Verso could have saved Gustav, but he didn't. He just let it go.
Yeah, that's why he'll never be my real dad.
I get why he did it, but also maybe, and like, I think they threw that in there right before the ending of the game, and it's also, I think it's an optional scene, because it's one of the camp scenes, right?
Yeah.
I think most of those are pretty optional.
Yeah, I think it's the last scene to like max your bond with Mael.
Yeah, before she gets the Gommage level 3 gradient attack, which is insane. I feel like they threw that in there to make the ending choice a little more difficult, because it's like, it's because that puts you more, for me at least, I was like, oh, that puts me more on Mael's side about stuff, because it's like, oh, it's Gustav.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Gustav.
Yeah, but I know that. Yeah, and it was a act of like omission, because he knew if Gustav died, she'd be way more likely to try and leave.
Oh, I hadn't thought about that. Oh.
Yeah.
Does he say that in the cutscene? Did I just miss that, or is that subtext?
I'm pretty sure he mentions it. Yeah. Or well.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's heavily implied at the very least.
I mean, I think you're right. That totally makes sense.
Because Gustav basically raised her. And then also part of me thinks that maybe he just didn't save him because he saw Gustav as like an imposter brother.
Oh my gosh! Jealousy.
Right? I think it feels like there's an element of like jealousy there. Yeah, and
what if he was jealous?
But at least that's how I took it. I don't know if that's intended, but I kind of felt like I was like, oh
my gosh,
right? I'm
just rethinking everything.
But it's like yeah.
He said that he'd been like checking in on Mael, so he must have seen them be together, which is how I know, like, it's not like he just thought it was a random expeditioner. Like, he knows that he's an important person to Mael. So, oh my gosh, the jealousy aspect.
Right?
Oh, that's so good.
So, like, there's like, because you do get there's a sense of pettiness to some of Verso's actions.
Yeah, well, that whole family has a real sense of pettiness, don't they?
Yeah, it might be genetic.
They don't deal well. What's going on with Clea and like this being
voiced by Lae'zel, by the way?
To everyone all the time. Voiced by who?
Lae'zel, the Devora Wild, who played Lae'zel in Baldur's Gate, is Clea.
That checks out.
Yeah. So they're like butting heads again.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And Clea, who created the Nevrons and all of that to like accelerate the degradation of the painting and all that.
We just made paint murder bots.
Yeah, basically. And then you run into the white ones who like don't want to kill, right? They have like
What is the deal with the white Nevrons? Because I haven't figured it out. There's got to be an explanation for them. I just don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't done all of the post game stuff. I've done barely little because I beat the game and I just felt like, oh. So I haven't touched it in like a week.
I needed a couple days to recover, and then I was gonna talk to you, and I was like, I don't want to read a bunch of stuff online and like just fill my head with other people's thoughts.
Yeah. So I'm not 100% sure the deal with the white Nevrons. I think I did get the achievement for like sparing all of them.
Nice.
So, and if you do that, you get like 100 lumina for doing that. So it's totally worth it.
That is pretty good. I didn't realize that until after I'd already murdered a white Nephron, and then I was like, well, they're all gonna die now.
It's like if you accidentally kill a little sister in BioShock, it's like, well, you
well,
gotta get them all now. In for a penny, in for a pound. Why miss heaven by 2 inches?
Why kill one child when you could kill lots child?
Yeah. But I think the deal with the white Nevrons is that, because you come across like, I think it's like 8 of them, where they have their own agendas and they don't just want to be mindless killing machines. They don't want to be monsters, as it were.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to the nature of this magic paint dimension.
Yeah.
Because you're creating something new that has thoughts and a personality. They're not. It lets me know that, it makes me think that all of the creatures inside the painting, including the humans and the gestrals and stuff, are real in the real sense of being a person, a sentient being, you know, because they have this capacity to change their nature.
Wow, I love that.
Right? That's what I took from it. And that's and getting to the ending, which Sandfall Interactive is incredibly cruel for making us choose.
Oh my gosh, the choice
between playing as Mael and staying in the painting and keeping it going versus leaving and letting the fragment of Verso's soul, you know, dissipate or whatever it is, whatever happens to it. I think that sort of like idea is what pushed me over into picking Mael first, like instinctually.
Oh yeah. Me too. That is also what I picked.
Yeah, because like this is an entire world of actual people.
Yeah, right? And Mael like wants to be here. She keeps saying over and over again, I want to be here. This is the life I want. I don't want that life outside. Like, she has nothing in her view. She has nothing going for her out there.
Yeah, like
that's totally understandable.
Because she's disabled and she has a controlling family who are in the middle of a war.
Yeah, right.
Apparently, which that came out of left field a little bit.
some huge magnetic like huge war that like we know nothing about and we don't care about because we're worried about the painting.
Yeah. That's apparently Clea's deal, is like she's at war, like she's more invested in the war with the writers, which if that's all crazy magical bullshit too, like I don't know. Like,
what can the writers do?
Right? And why don't they get along? That's the other thing.
Yeah, you'd think they'd like each other, but
you think they'd be natural allies, but no.
They light each other on fire is what they do.
Apparently, yeah. Which
fire's the mortal enemy of both paintings and books.
Yeah. They should be working towards an ice planet or something. I don't know. But yeah, like we did talk about previously about how fucked up it is that Mael has an entire like combat tree dedicated to fire.
Yeah, it's so true, which I hadn't even thought about until you mentioned it, and I was just like, oh, you're right.
Yeah, because it was like skills that I never used because I tend not to heavily invest in elemental properties in these games because there's always something that's immune to them, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, and as somebody, I wanted to use Mael a lot because she's a really good character. And it's like, well, I don't want to pigeonhole myself into using a bunch of fire because what if I run up against a bunch of stuff that's immune or resistant or absorbs fire? Especially if it's like a story-related thing, you know? Which I don't think happens, to the designer's credit. But I was just thinking about,
everything burns.
I was like, she has a lot of fire skills. What's up with that? Oh my god. Oh my god, she burned up in a fire.
Of course. Oh my gosh.
It was brutal.
Speaking of elemental stuff, just real quick.
Yeah.
Lune is my spirit animal.
She's great.
I loved her. She's like her whole vibe, like when she's fighting, is like elemental witch, which I kind of like stuff.
It's very good.
But then also she's a scientist and she's super practical. And that's also a huge side of me. So I was like, Lune is here to represent.
We should talk about how she's been like taking notes since she was like 5.
Yeah.
I was like, wow.
When she gets so excited about seeing gesturals, like she's basically hopping up and down, and she's like, I know, we don't have time. We don't have time for this.
They're so cool. Yeah. Yeah, that sort of boundless curiosity is like a great conduit for the player because you feel the same way. It's like, oh, I want to go look at these weird guys with the paintbrush heads, and the like pure like wonder of the entire world is like you get that through her. Also you can build. Also, I built her to be like a crit machine, so I was getting the elemental genesis every other turn, and then did like 400,000 damage or something.
That's amazing.
That's so
Mile was my finisher. She was
so much
everybody
damage.
was focused on getting Mael to get that virtuoso and just kill everything.
So much damage. Yeah, and the fact that she's like arguably the best character in the game combat wise also makes you want to side with her a little bit because you're like, oh, she's so powerful. Like like what could go wrong? Right.
Yeah, right.
But I do want to talk a little bit like more specifically about the endings. Because so we both picked Mael starting, and her ending is they're both pretty bittersweet in a way.
Bittersweet's a way to say it.
Yeah. It might be a bit of an understatement, but and when she Verso begging about how he doesn't want this life. And as he's turned into flower petals, and then there's like a time jump, and we see everybody back in Lumiere, and Sael has Pierre back, and like Miles growing up, and she's walking into this like opera house, which Esquier and Minoko are there. They're hanging out. They're walking into this opera house, and Mael has a child with her. And like, what's up with that?
Okay,
whose baby is this?
I could be so wrong. I thought the child was one of Gustav's kids, like his little apprentices or assistants.
Oh, yeah.
But I didn't go back to actually make sure that he matched with one of them. But that's what I assumed.
Okay, and it would maybe, or did Mael have a child?
You think Mael had a kid?
That's the other thing I was thinking. It's like maybe
Mael
had a baby.
Old?
Well, she's 16 during the game, and this time jump is not significant, or it's not insignificant. So, could that be a Mael baby? And like, what would the nature of that child be in this world?
Oh my gosh, he'd be the most realist boy of the real boys.
Because Mael as a person is Alicia reborn into the painting world to painting people, right?
Yeah.
But it's like
all super clear.
But but it's also her soul in this body, but she's like a different person because she has completely different experiences and stuff growing up. So she's kind of a hybrid person. I don't know. It turns
out this game was an isekai the whole time.
Oh no!
And they just hid it from us.
Now I hate it.
It was a secret isekai.
It kind of is in a way. Going into another world, yeah. So like I was like, well, if that's her kid, is that kid like 1/4? Main reality and like 3/4 painted person, or what?
He has a little piece of a real soul,
right? Yeah, or the real soul, right? Yeah. And then
I don't know. He's
I don't know.
He goes to like grade school and brags like in we live in like
my mom's painters,
Oklahoma, Texas. When I was growing up, everybody would be like, "Oh, well, I'm like 1/16 Native American."
Oh,
everybody
would
that. This is his version. Well, I'm 1/16th real boy.
Yeah. This is my dad works at Nintendo or my uncle works at Nintendo type of thing. Yeah, so I was very curious about that, and I think it's just to show that I think, on the face of it, it's just to show there's a passage of time, and then that life is continuing on in this world because people are continuing to have kids.
Wow.
And then, like, this performance starts, and it's Verso.
It's
like
so hard to watch.
Yeah, it's like resurrected Verso.
And he's in so much pain.
He
like
doesn't
he does not want to be
there.
there.
Yeah.
And the whole town has come to watch this prisoner.
Basically.
His soul, it's just been imprisoned by Mael. And she can't let him go because of the grief.
Yeah, she can't let him go. Or the entire world, right? Like, it's...
Yes.
It's...
Okay, this is what made me angry at Mael for that ending. Was she spends so much of the game telling other people, like, let me do what I want to do. Nobody's listening to what I want. I know what I want. Don't tell me otherwise.
Yeah.
And then she did that to Verso.
Yeah.
She should understand more than anyone.
That, absolutely.
Having that taken away from you. She's the one who, like, banished Alicia, like, painting Alicia.
Yeah.
Like, whenever Verso was like, hey, like, I would have liked to have said goodbye to her. I would have liked to have why would you just do that? And she was like, well, it's what she wanted. So why would you make her hang out when she doesn't want to be here?
And it's a little bit like when a character gets they have this expanded view of what the entire existence is about, and then all of the little human parts that make it what it is tend to blur at that perspective. And it's like, in that moment, Mael is just like, well, I can do anything. Why not just give everybody what they want? And it doesn't work out well because everybody's connected in that way. And
I started to wonder about Mael. Like, does everybody know that she has, like, super painter powers?
Eventually, yeah.
And if so, that would make her, like, such a weird figure in the city. Like, I think of the, like, Twilight Zone episode where there's, like, a little boy that has these amazing psychic powers, and he can basically, like, erase... He can do the same thing. He can erase anybody he wants.
Yeah.
And the whole town is, like, terrified of him and just gives him whatever he wants. Because if he gets angry, he'll just, like, F you up.
Yeah. It's very much like the Greek gods, even. Where it's like, they're very capricious and very interested in their own things. And
everybody else just has to deal with it, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, Maman's in a mood today. Like, we're just all gonna have to deal with that. I guess all the cows are gonna die.
Or something. So, yeah. Or maybe they'll come back tomorrow or something. But, like... But at the same time, you get the sense that Mael wants to, like, preserve this world. She doesn't want to, like... She doesn't come off as, like, dictatorial, except for maybe to her immediate family members. But
well, I guess I can empathize with that a little bit. Like, family issues run deep.
Because she's gotten that from them at the same time. And even though, like, she and Renoir come to, like, a bit of an understanding at the end of the game, like, it's... I don't know, she still has all of that baggage. And she's still only 16.
Yes. Well, that's the other thing about the Mael ending is, like, she's saying, why would I want to go back out there when I have no life out there? But she's so young, and, like,
very young.
She can't see past her grief yet. Like, she's lost so much, and she's so young. And if she would get out there and just like try and live a life, she would get past it eventually. It would always hurt.
Yeah.
But she would build something for herself.
Yeah, you'd hope. Right?
Verso thinks so.
Yeah, Verso thinks so, right? And then, but yeah, and, like, she's been isolated for so long because of her because she can't, because of her disability, she like can't talk, you know, and she's missing an eye, and it's and she's like facially scarred, which takes a huge toll on your like mental health.
And her family resents her, like her mom resents her,
because
her
they
sister
just look at her and it's like why couldn't it have been you, like that kind of thing.
Which is horrible.
It's awful. So you understand why she does what she does in her ending, like and there even right before you have to make the choice, there's that moment where Verso says, well, we're both hypocrites, but we're on opposite sides of it, because his ending, all of Lumiere and the entire world and all of those real actual people in there are gone. Like, granted, there's not a lot of them left after all of the expeditions, but and like the Gestrels are all gone, and Esquier and Minoko and all of that, and like that's really, really difficult to leave behind. And then so like you're already taking this girl who has a bunch of grief on top of her, and now she's having the memories of 2 lives where she's lost everything like piled on top of her. It's so, and like the Verso's ending is
that, like,
go ahead.
Sorry. Even in that final scene, like the mom and dad are together and holding each other, and the sister is apart, and then she walks away, and Maëlle is still isolated. She's still standing off by herself, trying to deal with everything alone.
I noticed that immediately. Like that final shot of Verso's ending is her alone at his grave, and it's like I don't know, that says a lot to me about what's gonna happen to her, right? Because if she can't get over it in the having god powers, even, you know, it's like what does that even guarantee? Like, is her, and like what are her like options for, you know, recovery or even treatment in this world? Because it's like 1850 something, right? I think I found a date in the game that was somewhere around there. And there's a war going on. Your sister's preoccupied with that, and like the parents, I think, are kind of involved in that as well. But like, I don't know.
But it's also a world with magic, so maybe there's some way for her to do something. I mean, even if she never like fixes her disfigurement, like she could still be an amazing paintress, which apparently gets you a giant mansion and huge acres of gardens.
The gardens you run through towards the run up to the end of the final battle are colossal.
That family's got some money.
Boy, do they. Maybe the writers are all poor.
Bad for rich people.
Maybe the writers are all poor, and it's like it's not so much like a writing versus painting thing, but also like a class struggle.
Yes, this is the bourgeoisie.
So, if they're rich, then I don't care what happens. No.
Down with the painters.
So it's 100%. Both endings have like so much, I guess, wiggle room as to what could, because you get such a brief snapshot in both of them about what happens, and I don't know, I did poke around a little bit on the internet, and there's a lot of sentiment saying that like Verso's is the correct ending because the people in the painting aren't actually real, and I'm like, no, I think they are real.
I mean, if you want to be like super bird's eye view, objective reality about it, yes, but like that's not what we're here for, right?
No, and it's and so much of the game is about the power to create as well as destroy. Like, it's I don't know.
And like the meaning of creation, that like creation has meaning. It's not just nothing.
And then the things that you create stop being owned by you, that they go off to be their own things, and they mean different things to different people.
Oh my gosh, yes.
But it's I don't know, it's the first game in a long time that I've played that made me feel a lot of ways about a lot of things. And about just like the nature of escapism and my relationship to it, and just the relationships among family members and stuff like that, because like I'm estranged from all of my family, so like that's gonna hit different for me like it's gonna hit for anybody else, like yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, no, there's so much, and I don't know, the nature, I mean, for me it was like the nature of grief and like reality, and like escapism for me too is like huge. Like, I mean, Mal at the end of her ending, like she gets everything she wants, but then like I think it's so important that they have that flash at the end that reminds you, like, this is a dying girl, she is dying for her choice,
right, to get what she wants, and it's like, is that worth it? Like, is that worth it? Is it worth
technically
it?
she gets to live a full life while dying.
But at the cost of like this fragment, what's left of her brother, right? Like, oof. Or do you live? Okay,
the selfishness that grief can take. Like, because the whole thing is that she's grieving Verso, but like, in the end, she is hurting his soul. He wants to be done, and she won't let him.
Yeah. But it's keeping alive a bunch of people. So it's
true.
It's like I know you've probably read this, the Ones Who Walk Away from a Malice story.
No, I haven't.
Okay, all right. So okay, I'm gonna have to spoil it. I'm sorry about this.
Go for it.
But so it's this short story about this like city where there's no want, right? That everybody is free and prosperous and healthy, and everybody is like, it's utopia, right? It's a utopian city to live in. But in like the darkest basement of like the the lowest level of like this building, there's a child who's chained to the wall and is being tortured, basically, and that's what maintains this utopia. And then there are people who are okay with that and live there and think that it's worth it, and then there are the people who walk away from the city of Amalis, who don't think it's worth it, like the life of even one person, to maintain this whole utopia. And it's a very similar problem.
Does anyone try to save the child? Does anyone take that?
I think in the story it's implied that you can't.
Okay, that's fair. It's a short story.
Because once the child dies, it's replaced with another one.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah, it's that kind of thing. It's been a while since I've read it, so I could be misremembering the fine details, but the sort of general thing is like, what to you is worth the cost of the suffering of other people? And
I love it. That is so. I wonder if the writers of this story have like read that, because that is so.
It feels like they have had to
related. Yeah, because that's almost the exact same scenario that gets set up here.
But you're adding in the personal stakes to it as well, for like a family and yourself, and it's crazy, and it just made me really, really think of that, because it's one of those things where it's like you have to evaluate what's gonna be, what your line is in terms of morality and what that means for you personally. Because outside of a Malice in the story, I'm starting to remember, it's like a wasteland. Like there's nothing out there. Yeah,
of course,
it's like yeah. It's all metaphorical, so it has to be. But like it's like living this like subsistence life of scrabbling and struggle versus living in this utopian city, but at the cost of the life of like somebody innocent.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to read that story.
Yeah, it's online for free, I think. Oh fuck, forgetting. Yeah, it's Ursula K. Le Guin. If you've heard of her, it's a short story that she wrote.
Cool. Okay, I love me a good short story. So.
Yeah, it's I think that's something we read in college. But
something else I appreciated about this game is that it's like the whole story is playable within like a short time frame. It's not like a 300-hour
yeah
game,
yeah
you know.
it moves.
Yeah, it does. Like you can just rush through it if you want. I think I had like 72 hours.
Okay,
and I
yeah.
feel like I went off and did like a bunch of side quest stuff. I didn't do everything.
Yeah, I want to say mine was like 45 or 50.
Oh, you really rushed through it.
Maybe? I don't know if I did. I don't know. It feels like I didn't, because I was running around and like flying around on SGA looking for secrets and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Well, I also did have to fight the mime like 20 times before I figured out how a mime dies. So mine there may have been some artificial padding.
Okay, yeah. I may have saved some time in the combat there, because a lot of this combat is very like I know a lot of people have been like, the comparison is to like Dark Souls or Elden Ring, because the enemy attack patterns feel very similar. Like the rhythm of their attack patterns are very similar, except that you're not having to like run around them and try in real time and trying to do that. But like that like sort of emotional hit of getting a good parry and is still there, but it's in the turn-based thing. And
yeah, I love how they like modernized the turn-based combat, where like there's still reactionary things to do.
Yeah, it gives
you still get like the chess game feel of turn-based, which is what I love about turn-based, is like every little action matters. You really have to think out everything. Yeah.
Yeah, but with the shit your pantsification of of your average Souls game. It's like, I didn't expect that.
Frustration. When I've memorized an enemy's dodge pattern or like parry pattern, and like I know it and I keep missing it anyway. I'm just so disappointed in myself.
Yeah. Or you get it down and then they change it up.
Oh my gosh, yes.
like the Gestrels who will fake you out.
Yeah.
So brutal. I've seen so many TikToks of people getting caught by that. It's great.
Saw you flinch.
Two for flinching. Okay, so we talked about the ending. That's kind of like the big talking point. But also, I'm curious as to where they go next. Like,
okay, sorry, before we move on, something else about the ending, the ending,
yeah,
like that just hit me really hard, is that Verso talked about his favorite thing was performing in front of people, and she's turned it into a hell for him because he's trapped and he's not happy doing it anymore. It's like his favorite thing to do, and now he's miserable doing it because he's trapped.
It feels like a like a thing to try and ameliorate the situation a little bit, because it's like, oh well, he's depressed about being alive, essentially. well, I'll just give him his favorite thing, which is performing in front of people. But he's in so much struggle and like suffering that it's because like no matter what, even your favorite thing, if you're in a bad enough spot, you can't enjoy your favorite thing no matter what. It's brutal, but Eski and Minoko are there.
That's
Ciel and Lune got
the
and we don't find out how Minoko feels about it, because Minoko's Verso's best friend, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of left out, and like I guess if it does, the focus comes in so tight around the family, around the main family, who I forget their last name, but it's Descend. There we go. The focus comes in so tight around the Descend family that I do wish we had a little more scope outside of that, because I get that that's what the story is about and it's the crux of the entire situation, right? But the rest of the world and all the people in it still matter to us because we just spent a bunch of time with them.
Yeah.
So I would have liked to see a little more beyond them, and like maybe the consequences of what happens with the world or the people in it, because that all matters too. But I get that they wanted to tell the very, very tight story about this family's grief, and that is so That's like might be like my main complaint that it gets a little the focus gets a little too tight for me. Right. But
my main complaint is moving around in the menu when you're just trying to like figure out like, okay, I want to go into this character's character sheet, and like it's hard to tell where your cursor's at, and
yeah, the border around whatever you have selected could be a little thicker. Yeah.
yeah, just make it a little more obvious for me, please.
They had to pack a lot in there.
They did.
Between the Pictos and the Luminas and all of your outfits and your attributes and all of that. And then you get more in the menu, as you go along.
Did you use any of the silly outfits, or did you stick to more like role-play choices?
If I was just running around like dicking around doing stuff, I would just put on all the silly outfits and hairstyles.
Nice.
Just to cycle through them. But I had like main outfits for everybody that I would pick. Yeah.
And they were all very sporty. Eventually, I put all the girls in like ponytails because I was like, y'all are expedition. Y'all are out here. You don't need your hair like going everywhere. It's gonna get all tangled. Like
that's very practical. Like that's very much like a detail that. Or like a consideration that I as a man would not have, because I was like, I'm gonna make them pretty. Everybody has
all
long
have our priorities.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay, but yeah, where do they go from this? Would you want to see more of this? Would you like a direct sequel or like?
I don't know that I would want to see a direct sequel. This is such a tight story, and it's so well done. I feel like any sequel will unravel that a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
But there's so much room to do other stuff with other paintings. I mean, like Renoir said, like we've done hundreds of worlds.
Oh yeah.
And you can do so much with the writers. Like you could either do like a real world like view of the conflict between the painters and the writers.
Yeah.
Or you could do like other worlds that this family has created.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of potential here.
And like, if they're just going around creating paintings of realized worlds with basically real people in them, and like treating them like just like any other what are you doing? Like maybe that's why the writers are pissed.
What is this power you have?
Yeah. What's the nature of this? Maybe that's why the writers are pissed, because they're going around creating these worlds full of, ostensibly real people, and then just discarding them when they're done with them. Like
that seems like a real rich person thing to do.
Yeah. We might have cracked it. It's just like, oh, we're super rich. We can do whatever we want. Let's just do a bunch of make a bunch of pocket dimensions full of real people.
Let the workers toil for us.
Yeah. Oh my God, what if they are using them for labor? Like,
gosh, you could maybe. Right? I don't know.
Well, like emotion, like intellectual labor, or even child rearing, or anything like that, or like. Right? Like, what happens when you put a baby
like in Rick and Morty, when he uses... There's, like, that whole thing where he made that, like, space for his daughter to play in.
Oh, I don't think I saw that episode.
There's a whole episode where they reveal that he has made, whenever his daughter was little, he made, like, a pocket dimension of her for her that was all, like, a beautiful little girl's, like, imaginary land.
Oh, no.
For her to play in, so that he didn't have to deal with her.
Yeah. Oh,
and she let one of her friends into it, and then he got stuck there. And and they open it up years later, and, like, he's just been there the whole time trying to survive.
Oh, no. See, yeah, there's a lot you could do with this. Like, just the ethical, just like, I remember coming off the end of the game, it's like, no matter what ending you pick, like, this is not a power people should have.
No, absolutely not. These people are not smart enough or wise enough to handle this power.
No, I don't think anybody would be. Like,
I would be, but that's different.
Oh yeah, you're different. Yeah. I could outrun entropy.
That's right. I could beat up a bear, sure.
Yeah. But no. More in this universe would be cool. but also they did such a good job of creating like an original experience as like maybe do that again.
Yeah, right? Like, let's not. The part of the reason I love this game is it feels like a breath of fresh air. It feels very rich. The gestrels feel like an entirely new, unique, like little fairy race. Like
it's a bunch of new guys. Like
yeah, right? And I was thinking after playing it, I was like, the amount of like lexicon that this game has just inserted into my brain. Luminos, Pictos, gestrels, like
gommage, like
yeah, I have a whole new vocabulary.
Yeah, half of it's French, but yeah, it's
yeah, it's great. I needed to learn more French.
Right. Apparently, yeah, I read a post on, I forget where it was from, but it was somebody like people who speak French, because all the lyrics are in French, and the lyrics kind of just spell out the story.
Do they really?
Yeah. Like they're like tear the painting and stuff like that, and talking about Verso and Luel and Mael's relationship, and it's like apparently a lot of the lyrics when translated are very on the nose about what's happening in the story.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, poor French people had spoilers.
They'll be all right. They're French.
They'll be all right. No, this is important for them. Like, how often do they get a game based on like French culture and language?
No, you're totally right. And like, this is doing wonders for like French representation in the world. Yeah, it's like, oh wait, the French do have that dog in them when it comes to video games. Because like for decades, it's just been Ubisoft. Because Ubisoft is like the big French developer, and they employ thousands of people. And over the years, their output has become worse and worse. And the main team of this is like all ex-Ubisoft people, mostly ex-Ubisoft people.
Yeah. Okay, so I just know that like these are people that left Ubisoft. Do you have any more info on like who these people are? I heard that they found like the music guy just kind of on the internet, the guy who did all the amazing music. Yeah,
the guy who they hired to do the music was
on SoundCloud. They found him on SoundCloud.
Yeah, he was on SoundCloud, and he is a teacher. And he would just put up music on SoundCloud that he thought that he had made. And they found him on there and hired him based off of that, basically. And then gave him a bunch of money and a team to hire so much stuff. There's a bunch of other people to help out, And like they need to
give him more money.
Right? Yeah.
So much of that game is made by the music.
The music does a lot of heavy lifting. Yeah, absolutely. But there's also like the team is very small, the core team of Sandfall Interactive. But it's not an indie game. It's published by a big publisher, and so like there's like that myth of like the game is made by 30 people, but they have like hundreds of like outsourced contractors to like do animation and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I saw a little bit of that going around, and then I was watching the No Clip podcast, which is they make documentaries and stuff, but they also have a podcast about gaming and kind of in general. And they were talking about that. And it's like, oh no, it wasn't exactly 30 people. Like that's like the core team of like designers and stuff like that. But they did have a lot of people like work on the game to help them out.
Okay. That makes so much sense because it's just so good that like
because
that's what I'd heard. I'd heard that like it was 30 people and that was it.
That was
like,
it. Yeah.
So.
It would have been a little too on the nose if it was 33 people.
I'm cheap.
yeah. But it's a great game. It's a great game about the terror of being in your 30s.
Yeah, that's a whole nother fear that we didn't get into. I had a friend texting us today being like, if we lived in this world, Brittany would already be dead, and we would all be going on an expedition to try to not die next year because of the bitch.
Yeah, oh no.
He just started the game, so he doesn't know yet.
Oh, okay, he doesn't know yet. Yeah. I guess I'd do that
so he keeps calling the paintress the bitch. He wandered around the like starter area before the the gommage.
Oh
like for because he was texting me the whole time, like at least 45 minutes, because he was like, I know she's gonna die. I know as soon as I start the next cutscene, she's like, I'm gonna talk to everyone. I'm gonna go in every corner. As long as I stay in the courtyard, Sophie lives.
That's another way of playing the game. Right?
I can't wait to watch him get through all of the twists and turns, and it's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, I was so excited for when I heard you were playing it, because I was like, oh, A, finally have somebody to talk to about this. And B, I get to experience all of this over again vicariously.
Oh, the amount of nights I've just spent just staying up while I was playing it, just trying to figure out this story and what is this world, and I know I can figure it out. The hints, they've given me all the clues. I can figure this out. And then just that many nights I've spent grieving the world,
right,
and
100%.
Conflicted about the morals.
It's I went on a long walk after I beat it.
Yeah.
Just got
just you and fun and your thoughts.
Yep, just whoa. I'd be, if I still smoked, I'd have gone through half a pack.
That'd be very French of you.
Yeah, some coffee and a baguette and a little striped shirt. I didn't have a beret, so I put on the red bandana for this.
Nice.
Oh man. Okay, well, you got any final thoughts before we wrap it up? We covered the ending and a bunch of other shit, so
I hope nobody watched this who hasn't played the game, because it is a game that is, the less you know about it going in, the better it is.
It really is 100% like that. It's like the movie Society. Don't look up anything about it. Just go watch it.
Yeah. I would be recommending it for a long time. It's really good, and it hit me right in the sweet spot of my little gamer girl heart. And that's what I needed.
it is such a love letter to the genre and fans of the genre, and it knows its players really well, because it can exploit that to subvert the way you think these games and the stories in them actually work, and the emotional depth that you get out of it is a lot more to the forefront than a lot of other turn-based, I guess JRPGs or that kind of turn-based RPG. It's I haven't had such feels since in terms of an RPG like this. It's Final Fantasy 9, with the whole.
Oh yeah, I love 9. Oh, we can talk about 9 for so long.
yeah, that's a different episode.
9 is my most underrated one. I think it's underrated. I love it so much.
It's so good. Yeah, it really is. I hope. Rumor is they're working on a remake, and I hope it's false, because it doesn't need a remake. Perfect.
You're right.
Yeah. Well, all right. Thanks for joining me on Bucket of Owls to talk about this.
Thanks for inviting me. It was so fun.
It was
I'm
really
so glad
fun.
I got to share this with you.
Yeah, me too. I'm very glad that we got to chat about this, because it's such it's a game that feels important. It has this gravitas to it, that I haven't seen since like Disco Elysium, where it feels like it's a game that feels important,
Yeah.
To not just gaming as a whole, but art as a whole, because it takes all of these elements and puts them together so well.
100%.
All right, well, goodbye everybody. Do all the YouTube stuff, share, subscribe, all that stuff. All right, bye.
Bye.